Pringles plus Jellicent equals Pokey Pringles? Hello YouTube! This is Chriz Maniac bringing you folks another Pokemon X and Y Y5 battle. And this match is a Yu-Yu match versus Devon. Now looking at my team, seasoned 5th gen battlers would see something very familiar with my team. They would direct their attention to my Jellicent and Ferroseed. And last gen, 5th gen, Ferrothorn and Jellicent formed an excellent combo defensively. They resisted each of each other's weaknesses. But this gen, since Jellicent got knocked down to RU because of that Dark and Ghost buff, I could bring it down to Yu-Yu now, this defensive core, and see how it does. And this defensive core of Ferroseed and Devon works extremely well, as you can imagine, because they cover each other's weaknesses despite the Dark and Ghost buff. Anyways, in comes Mienshao as his lead. I guess he just wanted to fake out on anything that I bring in. And I bring in Indra, my Aerodactyl from last gen, and this Aerodactyl is actually a lead Aerodactyl, and it knows Stealth Rocks. And I can just have Stealth Rocks on this switch. But right here, I just go for a Sky Attack, just wanting to use that move because I really wanted to see its animation and see how powerful it is. So let's see how much it does to this Fortress. It does like 1/4, and that's pretty good damage considering that's a Fortress. But that is the strongest stab move that Aerodactyl has, and it does only that much, so that's not really that much, whatever. Brave Bird is still infinitely better, because it can be used right away, and it has like 100% accuracy, and it still hits really hard. Anyways, I set up rocks on his switch. He brings in a Dragon, and I'm expecting him to go for a Draco Meteor or something, but instead Devon goes for that switch initiative right here, and he turns out, and he brings in his next Pokemon, which is his Mienshao, against my Jellicent, which is kind of strange, because you would think that he wouldn't like being with a Jellicent. He would get Will-O-Wisp, and he would have his Mienshao crippled. So I'm really comfortable staying in Bermuda here. But right here, he shows me that knockoff, and I'm like, ow, that hurts! And he brings me down to like 17 HP. And yeah, that extremely really hurts. And I survived only with a sliver of HP there, and I was very lucky. And I hit this burn, I get it on the Mienshao, and this Mienshao is crippled, so that's pretty nice. But I still have one of my walls crippled to the max. It's only at 17 HP now, and it's looking kind of bad for my defensive core already. Anyways, he goes for a knockoff once again, and I was expecting that. And I bring in my Manectric, which recently got moved up to OU for some reason. I think Manectric still could fare pretty well on UU. Anyways, I Mega Evolve into my Mega Manectric, and yeah, I intimidate that Mienshao even further, so it's at -3 attack now, so it can't really stay in, so he goes for U-turn, as expected, because he can't really do much to my Manectric, despite Mienshao hitting pretty hard. And right here, I'm expecting him to go into his Hydreigon, because Hydreigon is his only electric type resist in his whole team. So I could go for that big hidden power ice, do a lot of damage to Hydreigon, hit it for super effective damage, and it brings it down to like 40%, which is great. And I bring out Eclair because I'm thinking that this Hydreigon is a Scarf. All of Hydreigons these days are Scarf, so I bring in Durian, my favorite fruit, well, one of them anyways. And it's also my Ferroseed. He goes for the Earth Power. It doesn't really do much to me, except that he gets a special defense shot, which is kind of annoying. But since he's locked into Earth Power, I can just stay in here and do whatever. And he brings in Fortress. And right here, I believe I just go for the Thunder Wave, just Thunder Waving anything that he brings in. And a Thunder Wave on the Hydreigon, if he chooses to stay in, would be pretty useful too. But he brings in his Fortress, that's fine. He has less of a chance to set up stuff now, like a 30% less chance, because that's how much chance that you get paralyzed. Anyways, he sets up rocks, he doesn't get paralyzed this turn. That kind of sucks, but I don't really mind that. Anyways, he withdraws his Fortress because my Jellicent is in here, and with his withdrawal, I could have the chance to recover up, and my Jellicent has a second lease on life, because now he's at, or rather she is at half HP. Actually, I don't think ghosts are living. Yeah, ghosts are dead, and life is not the correct term. A second lease in this battle, there you go. Anyways, I am expecting that knockoff from that Mienshao. I don't really want to take a knockoff, and I want to take the rocks away too, so I bring in my Titanic, my Avalugg, just so I could get off a Rapid Spin, and they can't really do much to me because he's burnt anyways, and I can recover up if he wanted to. So my defensive core right here is doing pretty well against his whole team. even though this Manchow has super effective move against me, he can't really do much to me. And Devon's Manchow is constantly going for the attacks, which really helps me a lot because he is basically helping me kill him, or rather KO him. And I get a rapid spin off, and I can get a recover off next turn. And if he just went for a switch out right there, then that means that he would have saved his Manchow later on for KO fodder, but I guess he didn't do that. But I guess he wanted to safe switch into his next Pokemon, which is Barbaracle. And Barbaracle is a Pokemon that my Avalugg doesn't really like. And he could go for a Shell Smash and annihilate my Avalugg. But I just stay in right here. I go for a Toxic because I know I can eventually stall him out if he chooses to go for a Shell Smash. And that's the best bet I have with dealing with Barbaracle right now. He goes for a Rock Slide, it doesn't knock me out, even though super effective damage. I switch out right here, and I bring in my, what's it called? My Machamp, because I'm expecting another Rock Slide from him. But he goes for a Cross Chop instead, just switching up moves, so he can hit harder. But my Machamp is Hard Body, and he takes that like a champ. Wow, I didn't even like intend to make that pun. But he can send Poison right here. Here he goes his Barbaracle, which is great, and I can set up a sub on his switch. So in comes his Fortress, and it's at like half health now, and I can just knock it out with a move that I go for. And also, this Fortress is paralyzed, which means great news for me because I can get that Parafusion action going because I have Dynamic Punch, which has 100% like chance to confuse, and it hits 100% too because I have the move No Guard, or rather ability. So this Fortress is not looking like to set up any rocks or to spin away the rocks either on his side of the field. So this Fortress is basically going to go down after it gets confused. And poor Fortress is so confused, it's paralyzed, and I have a sub Machamp. And my Machamp is looking like it's going to do a lot of work on Devon's team. So we go for an Ice Punch intending to finish it off, but Fortress, it is truly a Fortress, it takes it, and I'm hoping he'll get confused right here, not spinning away the rocks or set up his own rocks. But fortunately for me, the Hacks is in my favor, and he just kills himself, or rather KOs himself, and he has no chance to spin away my rocks, which is great, because rocks on that one side of the field is almost always good if they are taking damage from it. Anyways, here comes Hippowdon. This thing walls me, but not really because I have Ice Punch in this guy, and I already revealed it earlier, but he doesn't have anything else to take an Ice Punch with. Anyways, you go for that Ice Punch, and that deals quite a bit of damage to Hippowdon, considering that's a really good physical wall. And he just goes for the Roar, just roaring on my sub and my Machamp, but not without me doing a lot of damage to it. Anyways, I'm bringing Hydra, I'm forced to bring him in. And he can't really do much versus this Hippowdon. I just go for the Earthquake right here, just intending to do damage to it. He goes for Yawn, just wanting to force my Aerodactyl out, and I am forced out. I get out of here, and I bring in Eclair, my Nut Trick, just so I could go for that Hidden Power Ice on it if he chooses to stay in. Anyways, he goes for a Slack Off right here. That is fine. I don't really mind that. He got like a max HP right here after that Slack Off. But actually, that Slack Off kind of matters because I can one-hit KO him with a Hidden Power Ice. So I switch out right here. I'm expecting him to go for the Earthquake, so I bring in Dorian, my Ferroseed, and I'm like just trying to stall this Hippo out because I don't really have a mode to one-hit KO it, and it can just keep slacking off. Anyways, I can just go for that Leech Seed right here. And then comes Insane Bolt, which is a hilarious name for a Reuniclus, because Reuniclus is our slowest hack, and Insane Bolt has the world record for the fastest 100-meter sprint, I believe. Anyways, and goes Barbaracle. And Barbaracle is a Pokemon that I'm not really scared with, facing my Ferroseed, because I could just go for the Leech Seed, just stall it out for attacks. And he's poisoned too, so this Barbaracle is looking like it's not going to do much versus my Ferroseed. And even like a Cross Chop won't really do much to my Ferroseed either because I'm a defensive wall. And with Eviolite, plus I have Spikes, which would punish him if he chooses to touch me. Anyways, I switch out right here because I'm expecting him to go for a Cross Chop. I bring Bermuda, and this is what I'm talking about when this is a very good defensive core because my Ferroseed and my Jellicent complement one another in their defenses, in their typings, because I can resist the Fighting type move if he chooses to go for it. But unfortunately, he didn't go for the Fighting type move because he went for that big Shell Smash. He's a +2 attack, +2 speed, and +2 special attack. But right here, he's almost dead with that poison. So I just switched back into my Durian, expecting him to go for the attack move. And he goes for a Rock Slide, but this is his last turn, I believe, of Poison. And after I take one Rock Slide from his +2 Barbaracle, he's gonna get KO'd by his Toxic, and down goes Barbaracle, not really doing much this battle, successfully outstalled by Toxic. And then comes Usain Bolt once again, and I can't really do much versus Usain Bolt because I'm a Ferroseed, and he has probably Magic Guard, and I can't Leech Seed stall him. And I want to switch into my next Pokemon, so I just sack off my Ferroseed right there, 1/2 of my defensive core. And then comes Bermuda, and Bermuda is my special wall, and I can take his moves unless he has Psyshock or something. And then comes Hippowdon, and Hippowdon, I don't really mind that actually. This is very good for me. I'm in a good position right now because I could simply Scald him to death and recover up if I need to. Anyways, go for the Will-O-Wisp. And this Will-O-Wisp absolutely cripples this Hippowdon, and is burnt now. And it won't really do much versus my Jellicent, and my Jellicent could keep surviving, keep recovering up, and just Scald this thing down. Yeah, so I just go for the recover right here, just being an unbreakable, impenetrable wall, and I'm giving him that signature spear with my Jellicent. And yeah, I'm getting jealousy though, and that's one thing that he can do to me, just put my Jellicent to sleep, and hopefully I will sleep enough turns that he can knock me out. And right here, Devon wisely switches out because I was going to Scald this turn. And then comes Hydreigon, and I can't really do much versus Hydreigon, but it's at low HP, so I could take one move from it and then knock it out with 2 Scalds probably. I go for my first Scald right here, almost knocks it out, but with that Sandstorm damage, he's gonna get knocked out, which is great, but that is at the cost of my Jellicent sleeping, so Devon has a chance of breaking through my Jellicent because Jellicent is a big threat to his entire team. Jellicent could not really get knocked out by any of his Pokemon. Anyways, he brings in Hippowdon again, which is kind of confusing. Does he have a move to hit me super effectively with? He's even burnt too, and this is just giving me more turns to wake up, which is great for me, I'm not complaining. Anyways, he just brings it into Roar, I guess, but that gave me a free turn to try to wake up. I bring Titanic right here, and I can recover up. This gives me a new, fresh chance to recover up, which is great. And I can just threaten out this Hippowdon because I am Ice type, and Ground types don't really like Ice. He goes for that Earthquake though, and he narrowly, no, it doesn't really do much to me, so I go for that Avalanche instead of Recover, because I just want to knock out the Hippowdon, and down goes his Hippowdon, and yeah, that is one part of Devon's wall core out of the way. But with that Sandstorm, I could just easily get KO'd by his Pokemon. So I switch out right here. I just save him for KO fodder. I bring in Bermuda, just to try to wake up and stuff. But he goes for a Psyshock right here, which deals quite a bit of damage to Bermuda, because he probably has Life Orb, and he probably has max special attack. Anyways, this is a set of Reuniclus that I'm hoping to not have Trick Room, because with Trick Room, his Reuniclus could easily sweep my entire team. I've made really good comebacks with Reuniclus trick rooming and sweeping an entire team of fragile, fast Pokemon. And that's exactly what I have right now. I have fragile, fast Pokemon, especially my Aerodactyl. But anyways, this is indeed the Trick Room set of Reuniclus, and I'm like, oh damn, come on Aerodactyl, you can hit all your Stone Edges, and if you miss one, I'm potentially screwed, because I can't really do enough damage to this Reuniclus to knock it out in one shot with a Stone Edge, and I can't really do enough damage with Earthquake too, because it only does like 35%, and he can just keep recovering up, getting all his HP back. But right here, I'm just trying to get enough offensive pressure on him so that he has to keep recovering, and that Trigger Room will eventually go down. Fortunately, I go for that Stone Edge and I hit it, and he goes for a recover once again, just getting more and more HP back, and I'm hoping to get a crit or something eventually. Right here, I hit my 3rd Stone Edge in a row, so that is extremely fortunate. When have you guys ever hit 3 Stone Edges in a row? Well, probably a lot of times, but still, Stone Edge is known for missing. Anyways, my Pokemon eventually gets smashed by a Psyshock with a crit, but he has done his job of putting enough offensive pressure on him so that he will get his Trick Room down, and I can just outspeed him with my Manectric and knock him out, close off the battle with a Thunderbolt. So that is the game, folks. I hope you enjoyed this battle. And folks, use a Ferroseed and a Jellicent. It makes a very good defensive core. Or if it's an OU, Ferroseed, Ferrothorn and Jellicent. Anyways, folks, I hope you enjoyed this battle. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you did. And I'll see you folks next time!